Hi guys, Shunja from Amazing Fitness. So today let's talk about the third part of the advanced marathoning on training and recovery. Before we start, we need to understand a very important concept called the fitness fatigue paradigm. Essentially, when training stress is introduced, there is a temporary decline in performance due to microscopic muscle tear, microfracture in bones, depletion of energy storage, and mental fatigue. But after sufficient rest and recovery, our muscle heals and become bigger and stronger. Our bones become denser, and our energy storage got replenished with higher reserves, and our performance level improves. Now, how much training stress is needed and how much rest do we need? In part 1 of the series, we talk about different types of runs in marathon training and how to determine their intensity with heart rate and duration. In this chapter, we shall talk about the second part, how to determine what is an ideal amount of recovery. Generally, when it comes to recovery, most people should err on the safe side because injury is a major deterrent to progress and it can incapacitate you for months. It is so common in beginners because of the lack of knowledge. People get injured due to all kinds of matters, from bad nutrition, hydration, increasing mileages too fast, running too hard on easy days. So here are some guidelines on the minimum number of rest days before the next similar workout. Tempo runs 4 days. Despite of its relative higher intensities, due to the shorter distance, it is the easiest to recover from. Next, long run generally 4 to 5 days. Even though long runs are not as intense, but due to the long distance, our body may need extended period of time to fully recover from it before the next similar workout. And lastly, for VO2 max days, it is generally recommended to rest at least 5 days before your next VO2 sessions. Despite of its short distance, we are training close to our maximum heart rate in VO2 sessions. So it is the most difficult to recover from. Note, this does not indicate the rest days between different types of workouts, as different energy system is stressed. In fact, in the later part of the marathon training, Fitzinger recommends 2 back-to-back consecutive hard training days, such as tempo run on the first day and long run on the second day, before having a few rest days. On top of that, we also mentioned that the mileage increase on a week-to-week basis shall not increase more than 10%, and the intensity of runs should not change too much in order to avoid injury risks. When it comes to scheduling your training, there are basically 2 schools of thoughts. There are 2 principles. The first one is the hard, easy principle, and the second school of thought is back-to-back hard days. Here is the table that compares these 2 different training schedules. There are several reasons to follow the hard, easy principles. The first one is to prevent glycogen depletion. As you know, glycogen takes 24 to 48 hours before it fully replenishes. So we want to have a full replenishment of glycogen before going for the next hard training days. The second reason is to prevent illness. As you know that our immune system is the weakest between 3 to 72 hours after training. So we want to avoid another hard workout during this period of weakened immune system. The third reason is to avoid DOMS, which is delayed onset of muscle soreness, because feeling sore may make you feel like crap and decrease the overall quality of the workout. And here are the reasons that supports back-to-back hard days. The first one is sometimes you just need that extra training intensity to stimulate your body. The second reason is for people who have a busy work week, people who are only free on the weekends. So it's best to have 2 consecutive hard days on Saturday and Sunday, because that's the only time you can have quality training. And the third reason is ad hominem. The renowned coach Jack Daniels also supports the back-to-back hard days and uses it extensively in his training schedule. Personally, I think it's better to have a mixture of both because there's not enough evidence to say which one is better. Next, let's talk about recovery days. Recovery runs are designed to help you better recover from your hard trainings. It is recommended to perform your recovery runs on softer surfaces such as your treadmills, and it's best to avoid uphills and downhills because uphill is hard on muscles and downhill is hard on both muscle and your joints. And when it comes to recovery runs, your heart rate should not exceed 76% of your maximum heart rate or 68% of your heart rate reserve. Recovery runs are designed to help you remove lactate and metabolic waste product. Now let's talk about other techniques that can help you speed up recovery. First one is to perform cool down. While warm-up is important, cool down is also important. This can be done with 10 to 15 minutes of easy jogging after your training, with a maximum heart rate of 60 to 75%, similar to your recovery day runs. Or it can also be done with other forms of aerobic exercises with similar intensity, such as cycling, swimming, or even walking. Also, the best time to perform your stretches is after you finish your cool down, because your muscle and tissues are still warm, and you are likely to get the best result from your stretching routines. The second one is cold water immersion, which eases your mental stress and also recovery speed. You can do a cold shower or soak yourself in an iced bathtub shortly after a hard training session. You can do this by immerse yourself in water with 10 to 15 degrees Celsius for 10 to 15 minutes. The third one is massage. So there are a number of massage that you can choose, but generally you should try to avoid a hard massage one day before your hard training, because it may make your body sluggish. Next one is compression apparels. There are some evidence that suggests that compression apparels such as compression socks and tights are able to speed up the recovery. One thing a lot of people do during long commute is to wear these compression tights and socks on a plane or on trains, which helps reduce swollen ankles and muscles. Lastly, for people who drive to run, take note that our body gets tight during driving in this confined space, so it is therefore important to stretch before and after driving. Next, let's talk about overtraining. Overtraining is caused by either training too hard, that means having training that's too stressful, or not having enough rest days before your next training sessions, or it can also be caused by monotonous training. So it's important to mix up your training a little bit. Next, let's go through a checklist that help us assess our recovery status. The first one is weight. Although your weight fluctuates in different time of the day and also from day to day, consistent decrease in your weight may indicate you are not eating enough calorie, or having illnesses, or are dehydrating, or having overtraining syndromes. The next indicator is to check your morning heart rate. This is known as your heart rate after you just wake up. If your morning heart rate is 5 beats per minute higher than usual, it may be an indication of overtraining or illness. Next one is environmental condition. Take note that if you've been training in hotter, warmer, humid temperature and environment, the speed of your recovery will be lowered. Hours and quality of sleep, your diet quality, level of hydration, and your muscle soreness. If your muscle soreness lasts more than 4 to 5 days, it means that you are training too hard. It could mean that you are overreaching. Next is your general energy level. If you always feel fatigued, demotivated, it may be a sign of overtraining as well. Lastly is your heart rate at standard pace. If your heart rate is more than 7 beats per minute higher than usual, you may not be well recovered. And that's all for today. Let me know if you guys have any questions. If my content is useful, give me a like, subscribe, and see you next time.